Current tab 459. All right. First thing, I've tried to improve the hints so that it's easier for you to see what's going on, and remember what we're going over here today. Next thing, the Add Parts button only appears at the head of a category, which would be all, or the head of an additional parts category. Anywhere else it doesn't there. So if you're looking for the Add Parts button and you want to add it to the original job, hit all. Actually, either one, you can add parts to anything. You can select it once you get into the Add Parts menu. But you need to be here or here in order to get the Add Parts button to show up. All right. Over to the statistics board. This used to be local and this used to be foreign. I've combined those into one box down here, local foreign. So this is now all the parts in the job, all the drawings in the job, all the parts in the job. One of the things that I've done is I've added error parts for geometry parts, and that's shown here. Before you make any pack lists, you need to solve all the problems with your geometry parts, or your pack lists will be wrong or incomplete. Error parts or error geometry parts are parts that have no lines, no material, no gauge, or no quantity. All those will be marked as error parts. All right, and these are the programming parts, and all right. Next thing we have is pack list parts. Now, one of the reasons why I move things around is so that the part list parts and the quantities, you can visually match those parts, okay? The part list and the pack list should be identical. And if they're not, the differences between those lists will appear here, and you can get an actual description of what's wrong by hitting the list button. All right. And you can then use that information in order to repair the pack list as needed. All right, now we've got parts on blanks, and of course this number is we want to represent this number is supposed to be this number is supposed to be that number. So 918, and here it's telling us well, we're underpacked 9 parts, which is 2 parts here, which is 909 from 907. We're overpacked 4 parts here, and we're underpacked, so that means that's why we're 2 over here. And 909 from 918 is 9 parts underpacked here. So basically, this is the results here are from various subtractions from these numbers here. It tells you the results, and when these aren't 0, you're not making the right number of parts. So you want to get these things zeroed out. So these are part issues. These are part list issues. These are packed part issues. And again, the local and foreign went down here. This bucket is when drawings appear on the pack list, residual parts are on the pack list, but they're not in the part list. It shouldn't happen, but if it does, this will give you the quantity. All right. Now, a couple of things here. I'm going to go over to this pack list and I'm going to take away a part. Save. And I'm going to update that. Okay. When there are parts on that have been mapped on blanks that are not on the pack list, you're going to get an XP here. And that XP is going to show up in a quantity here, unlisted parts that are packed. And then you have all the other issues with your pack parts, whether the parts are underlisted or overlisted, according to what's on the job quantity. So if I hit this list and here I got the extra parts and I take this and I copy that and I go back to the pack list and I add that part back and I go back here and I update that and that goes away and I've gotten rid of my 0 here and I don't have that XP. All right. Moving down into the next section, this now shows the number of sheets have been ordered. If you press this, it gives you an analysis for that particular for what you've requested. You'll notice that there's an OM here for order material. Okay, if you didn't order the material, it's gonna show up here. So we can go down here and we can order the material. Boom, and it shows the number of sheets ordered, number of blanks. This is eventually going to reveal whether the sheet sizes actually match or not, but I just didn't get around to doing that yet. Okay, so OM shows you that you need to order material. You can look at this and see whether material needs to be ordered. Next thing moving down is an important addition to 459 is that we're now calculating the run times. We're estimating the run times for the machines. Okay, and this is going to tell you the total run time for the job or the total run time for a particular pack list, whatnot. I presume that the times right now are somewhat unrealistic, as we haven't started proofing anything out yet, and our goal here is to make realistic numbers that you can achieve, and not set some type of a goal that you can't achieve. That doesn't suit anybody's purposes. Okay. I've made a slight change to the to how you edit the parts. You edit the geometry parts in an additional job by double-clicking. Here, it used to be right-clicking. That doesn't work anymore. You need to double-click again. That's up here. I have in my notes to move all the information about what you'll notice. It tells you up here what will happen and how you click. I'm going to move that to over here so it's a little bit clearer in the next version or two. All right. I've done a bit of work on the part data button. The part data button used to spew a bunch of parts that were not it would spew all the parts on the job, and then it would say it was unpacked if you picked a pack list and it wasn't working properly. And I've cleaned that up, and it's working properly now. And the last thing is the reprogram button. As you see by the hint, if you left click the reprogram button, it will reprogram. It will find all the parts that have a tool problem, and this is specifically to help you when you change tools in the turret. If whatever happens, a station goes bad or whatever, and you need to reprogram the parts in order to avoid that station, or avoid or select a different tool. You can press this button and it will go through all the parts for that machine. Obviously, this is not something that's really required for the laser, but it may be a helpful feature for the punches. And you'll see it only appears when there's a machine. You have to have a machine selected in order to hit the reprogram button, and then a right click just goes through and auto programs all the parts for that machine. All right, that's it.